Yo, what's going on, guys? Just getting set up real quick, making sure I'm live on YouTube, and we'll get started. How's everybody doing tonight? All right, we're set. We're live. So, yeah, FOMC tomorrow, big day. Market jitters, kind of what I'm like headlining everything, but give me one sec. Let me just turn my music down. I'm jamming in the background, just FYI. Let me, there we go. Get that volume down so I can actually hear myself think. So look, we got FOMC tomorrow. Are we expecting a rate cut or a rate, hike? No, but the market's got it priced in. It's going to be flat, but I think a lot of it's going to determine what Jerome Powell says, given this new oil situation that we've been presented with in the last few weeks since our last meeting. This has all happened. Oil prices have gone up, and I think they're going to have something to say about it. So I think the market's getting a little on edge. You get, a little bit jitters in the background. Maybe de-risking a little bit going into it, which is normal. We tend to see that going into FOMCs. So my plan between today and tomorrow is to stay out of the trades. I am in a scalp right now, but I'll be closing that before I go to bed. It's not something I'm going to be doing. Hold on one second. Loud as fuck. Gotcha. Said the music's coming through on TikTok. All right, well, we're going to cut the music out then. So, anyways, I was getting text in the background that my feed was coming through. What's up, Ben? I got your text, man. I'm going to cut the music for now. I'll probably do something on the side with my headset or something. Anyways, guys, so FOMC tomorrow. So market's pulling back just a little bit. My plan is to stay out of the market until after the Fed decision, and we got Bank of Japan coming in tomorrow as well. Tomorrow evening. It's more important what they say because they're dealing with oil as well. If they give any hints of a rate hike in the future, best believe the markets are going to be pricing it in. If you don't know about the yen carry trade, I highly recommend you go look it up and educate yourself on it if you're navigating these markets because it is a big deal. And if you look back a few years ago on August, it was like August 5th, 2024, or was it 2025? I think it might have been 2025. No, 2024. The yen carry trade unwind happened there, and we saw the markets crash. I can actually show you in the charts when it happened, and you could see the reaction of it. So it's just something we got to watch out for. I mean, we can't be, you got to, if you're going to play these markets, you need to know these things, right? So back here, right here in SPY. So this day we heard about Japan unwinding. They made announcements, and going into August, the beginning, we just dumped. Like it was like a solid from the news down. It was like a 10% day. Crypto, I know because I was trading crypto at the time. Crypto dumped pretty hard. Thanks, Ben. So yeah, like look, if that happens, if BOJ starts giving warnings of like rate hikes, if Powell starts to get hawkish, the markets are going to start to price that in. Right now, we're at a pivotal point on SPY, right? Where are we at? We're up against resistance, but I talked about this range, this 6720. Like, look, we were chopping around here, we lost it. And they're trying to reclaim, and we've like caught a little bit of a downtrend coming here. We're sitting up against resistance going into FOMC, so I expect some trickery tomorrow. Maybe some wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside, stop people out before a true direction gets picked. But I think we're gonna have direction going into the coming weeks. So let's see. But for now, resistance. As long as it's below that, I think eventually the target will be around 6,500, this weekly low. And if we break below that, there's a bigger target down here at 6150. But we'll play it level by level for now. If we can reclaim, look, I'll give you the bullish side too. This is what I want to see. If I see a pop, a reclaim of this 6720, then a higher low, maybe we have a chance of coming back up here and testing out the 6900. Maybe, this area up here. I'd be looking for, a lower high, of course, but also, there's the chance that they run it all the way up and take all the liquidity. So we have to keep that in mind. But that's scenario that's if we flip bullish. Otherwise, maybe we just boom, get a little rejection there. So we'll see. We're gonna have to watch this in the coming days to see how that plays out. By the way, guys, if you are watching and you have not subscribed, if you not hit that like, follow, go ahead and do that. You'll get notifications. We go live 6 days a week, myself and Ben. We talk about the markets. And we also have a group. You can check out our website, tacticalwedgetraders.com. Free to join, free courses. But yeah, I mean, look, markets is just sitting on the sidelines right now. You see this, we've been chopping sideways on the Qs for a little bit now. So I think we're at that point. Like, we're up against resistance. We're going to make a decision pretty soon. This is the bullish case. If we can break, retest, and push up, maybe we'll go take those highs again. Maybe we'll make an attempt back up there. But we got major resistance sitting around 25,400. But if we can't reclaim and we start to roll over from here, this is the level we're watching to the downside. It's around 24,000. We lose 24, and guess what? Bigger targets down here around 22.5, 22.4. That's where I start to get, maybe looking for a bigger bounce on the Qs. I could show you on the weekly what it is. It's just a back test of the previous breakout, which we've done every single time. You go back in time, it's just a play. So I'd expect a nice bounce there. Might be a nice place to put some alerts, wait for price to get down there. If you're like a long-term buyer, a swing trader, that might not be a bad place to be looking for, longs on the Qs. And, there's a few things you can watch in tandem. I can show you right now. If you don't know what the VIX is, that's the volatility index. This works very well in markets. Oftentimes, when you get above the 20 level, that indicates higher volatility and often correlates with selling in the market. And we see, if you could just go back in time and look at some of these big dates, what is April 2000, 2020? That was COVID. It's one of the biggest dumps we had. When the VIX is high, that's usually when you want to buy. That's the rule of thumb behind that, right? Look at this. Remember that August 5th we talked about? Look, I'm coming back to that date. That was the yen carry trade. We spiked. That was the best buy you could have gotten in a while. And then next one, guess what it was? The tariff lows, April, March. Last time we spiked. So if you start to see the VIX climbing up here in this 50, 60 territory, and you start to see SPY and down here, maybe you see SPY down at 6150. Maybe you see it at 6500. Maybe you see the Qs down at that 22,000 level, right? Might not be a bad idea to go, I might be loading up. That's my thing. Not financial advice, just how I'm seeing the markets in the future. This may take weeks and months to play out, so don't go, blowing your wad on the first dip you get. Don't be one of those guys. What's up, everybody? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Do you think FOMC will move markets tomorrow or still war first? I'll be honest with you. Tomorrow is going to be a lot of trickery. I don't think you're going to get a clear direction tomorrow. Normally on FOMC days, we don't get a big move. The move follows after it. Go back in history, back test FOMC. Typically, within 3 days, you get the move that happens. So let's say but I will tell you this. Whatever the market's doing going into FOMC usually tends to do the opposite after. So if you're pumping and the markets have been rallying going into FOMC, they tend to get faded afterwards. It tends to turn out to be like a sell the news. Now, that's not always, but more often than not, in my experience, I've noticed that. And then inverse, if we're dumping going into it, sometimes it leads to a little bit of a pump. So we'll see. But it is dangerous. I wouldn't trade it. I would wait till after, wait for the reaction. Wait for the levels to get hit. Wait for the reaction. Hold on. This thing's been slipping out the entire time. What do you think is causing a daily range consolidation? We've been in for 4 months. Topping, man. Topping takes a long time. They say bottoming takes a while, but topping is a process as well. Because you got people offloading, big players offloading large sizes in areas of distribution. And let's say this is distribution, it takes time for them to get out of their positions. But if you were just looking at volume, they've been offloading into this entire pump because the volume's been fading. You can tell this entire pump, smart money's been selling. So the question is this a top? If it does end up being a top, then we're looking at distribution right now. It takes time to distribute. We don't always, tops in the past, just look, I'll show you right here. Just go look back in history. I mean, tops take time. Look, this top started on October 2024, And it didn't really like hit the top for about till February, 3-4 months, almost 4 months later. So we were ranging for 4 months before a bigger dump down back here in 2021, October, and we didn't start dumping until January. So like 3 months. So it takes time, before these things start to move. Just like the bottoms take time, before they start to move. Sometimes you get these V-shaped recoveries, but that's not always. So this is normal. This would be normal of distribution if we were going to be if this was a distribution pattern. Now that gets confirmed. I mean, it's already confirmed for me on the weekly. We got to break a structure, and on the daily, we've got market structure shift already confirmed. So I think really it seals the deal when we take the 6,500 level. I think there's really no argument that we're probably coming down for a bit. But by then, it'll be too late. People were shorting up here, So anyways, not to get too off topic, but yeah. Iraq to help oil flow at 10 a.m. to help straight pressure. Maybe. I don't know what's going on with oil, but oil is going down right now. So oil may have found a high for now. What I'm seeing here, I'll show you. I've been tracking oil, but I'm just gonna paint the obvious picture here. It was trending up. I said, look, volume's fading. If this thing holds trend, it's gonna continue up. If it starts to lose trend, then we start to look for shorts. That's just the way my mind flips. What am I seeing right now? Well, look at this. What's that? It's a shoulder, head, and shoulder. That is a reversal pattern. You see it on the 4 hour. We have a neckline. So I think if we lose this 92 level, which has been kind of a key level for us with oil, if we lose this 92 level, I think we're coming back down probably to revisit this 76, maybe a bit lower. Maybe this is a lower high. This may have just been the last, this might have been a blow off top. We'll find out soon though. So a lot of people are calling for $150, all these higher prices. Usually when people are calling for more higher, that's usually when we get a pullback. That's just how it seems to work. People flip bullish. So right now, man, if it cracks this 92 level, I would say this is coming down. Might be a nice little swing short in there possible. I'll probably post this trade in the Discord tonight, maybe tomorrow. Let the group know what I'm thinking on oil. I'm sure other people are thinking the same thing. But what I'm watching here too, we have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high. This break right here is a 4 hour market structure shift. That hits that's a start of a downtrend at that point, and you just continue to respect it as a downtrend until the 4 hour shifts back. And that'll bleed out into higher time frames. This is the weekly and the daily low, though. This is the low that we would have to lose for things to shift. So this would be the low to attack if we do start to put in a lower high here. So that's what I'm thinking on oil. But, I mean, the charts are saying one thing. News coming out might pump it up a little bit, but I'd be weary because the only way to invalidate this for me, we start taking out this 98 high. Then we break structure again on the 4 hour, right? We can invalidate some things. So this is really where we got to get back above is 98. And if we lose 92, I think this thing is coming down. Yeah, so now good call. What's up, Mahmoud? Can I look at PLTR? Yeah, I can look at PLTR. We'll see what's going on in Palantir. World probably not much different than yesterday. Look, here's the thing on Palantir. We've been talking about this level for quite a bit of time. We lost this initial neckline and we dumped. We came down to the first level we were talking about, 130, and we got a decent bounce. It's a pretty good bounce. I'm not going to sit there and fade it. The key was, do we reject at this 148, 150 level, or do we flip it into support? Right now, it looks more like the latter. It looks like we're flipping it into support. So if it can hold this support around 148, 150, I mean, you got some levels up at 165, 172 that we could go attack on the daily. So these are just the targets to the upside, right? I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but we can mark out levels of interest, right? So that's a good area, and I would say probably up here is a decent area to watch the upside if this thing decides to run. Now, look, if this is a little bit of a bull flag forming here, well, we can take a little bit of a measured move to kind of see if there's any confluence above in any of those levels. So, I mean, yeah, it would take us essentially into this 186 level. If this turned out to be a bull flag, that's probably where we end up going. Somewhere around there would be my guess. But, look, This thing, look, 148 your easy invalidation. If this thing starts breaking back below this, expect to come back down to 130, potentially lower. Because all this is a lower high at the end of the day on the daily. So, you know, market structure would say, hey, we're probably coming down if that happens. You know, weekly, you know, we haven't really broken anything. The level to break on the weekly is up here at 198. So we could literally come all the way up here and then still put a lower high in and then run down. So just don't get too fooled on any pops here, especially with S&P and NASDAQ. They're all looking kind of weak at the moment. Maybe we get a little push up. If you're holding, probably going to be, look, I would imagine, because we've already gotten the weekly market structure shift here, right? Your high, your low, lower high, break a structure right there. You know, a lot of people, smart money traders or swing trader who have been holding this thing for a while, they might start to use this as an offloading period. Regardless of whether this continues up and breaks, most traders are probably looking for this to exit. Smart traders, you know, they're always going to have those people want to hold for hopium. That's going to keep running. But I think the environment's clear right now. We're risk off. So any pumps are probably going to be, you know, faded. Yeah, no problem, Chris. Trading Palantir, do you have no conscience? I don't know, man. Somebody asked for it. You said Brent long? I don't know, man. I think Brent short. That's just my opinion, though. Ed, how one track the capital rotation? Where the money's going, man? Honestly, dude, you just got to pay attention to, like, the big things. So pay attention to, like, U.S. stocks. So, like, your S&P, ES, NQ. You want to pay attention to things like gold. You want to pay attention to the 10-year bonds, because the bonds will help see where things are going. The DXY, which is the dollar index. You can also use oil. If you throw on, what is it, the Russell will show you, like, you know, low caps, micro caps. So what you do is if you just monitor those charts, you'll see which ones are going up. So if, like, the dollar and gold are going up, but you see stocks going down, everything else is going down, that tells you markets are going risk off. Then they're putting their money in their safer things, like bonds. Well, bonds, when they go down, actually, that means, when they go up, that means, when they go up, that means there's less people buying them. But when they're going down, that's usually when people are seeking bonds. Because the more people in it, the less they have to offer as far as interest. It's a whole reverse thing with bonds. But anyway, you're watching where the money's going. So just follow those key things, and you can expand on that. I know, you know, there's more charts out there to watch, but ideally, you want to watch those major things. If money's not in the risk on, if it's not in the minis, if it's not in SPY, Qs, you know, that's probably means it's a risk off environment. If you see money in gold, it could be it could be multiple things, but you can watch those assets because it'll tell you, like, the sentiment of the market. That money tends to find a place to go. And if you see people piling into the dollar, that's usually, like, the major sign of a risk off market. Like, if people are going back into the dollar and not putting money even into, like, gold, then you know it's a risk off market. So that's really how you watch capital, man. I mean, inside of, like, stocks, you can follow, like, rotations between, like, AI, pharmaceuticals for a while. We're going pretty hot. Energy sector's been booming lately. But that's more of having your finger on the pulse, to be honest. You just got to trade these things. You got to keep up with the market, see what's been moving, that kind of stuff. What's up, Parker? XAU, USDT. Yeah, I can go look at gold. You can just say gold. All right. So gold. Are we putting in a lower high here? I don't know, man. It's starting to look a little bit weird on the weekly. So what I'm expecting on gold is this. We're at a pivotal point. We have to reclaim 5,100. Otherwise, we're gaining acceptance back below. This was resistance, support. Now we're back below it. So if we fail to reclaim, I expect us to continue down, seek liquidity lower. You know, in the short term, you got a little bit of something down at 48.50. But ultimately, if this is a lower high, and this just turned out to be just a giant bear flag, right? bear flag usually happens after, a big move. It's a continuation pattern. Then this low is probably up for grabs at some point around 4,400, potentially lower, but that's like the areas I'm watching. So if this thing starts to break down, this is going to confirm the loss of this level we're at right now, 5,000, will confirm a daily market structure shift. My expectation is we're probably going to come back down to this 4,400 at some point. How long it takes, I don't know. So gold really needs to kind of like break out of this soon, or it's going to just continue to roll over and fade. So those are your levels. Are you looking for more trades? Dude, I'm looking for potentially a short on SPY. Seeing how tomorrow plays out. If I see a pump into the key level I'm watching, it's a little bit above, and I see a rejection, I'm probably going to look to short. I'm looking for a couple things on Bitcoin right now. I got a higher time frame play on BTC I'm watching. And the reason I like BTC is because it moves a lot. So really what I'm watching on BTC is simple. I'm going to go to a fresh chart and just show you what the pattern is. I'm going to keep it super simple. I'm not going to make it complicated for anybody here. It's very simple. Go to your weekly. Pop in a little bit of a parallel channel. You can do that. That's it. That's all. That's all you need to trade this thing. If you want to swing trade this thing, what you're looking for is price to push back into this 79.80 level. If it gets up here, we have key support, or what's one support now resistance, so the previous level. It's basically the downtrend we've been in, and typically the bear markets, you'll see in the past, what have we done? We've done the same thing. If you take from the top down to the bottom here, right? In the previous market, just take a little, it's like it just ran in a channel down until it broke, and then now it signaled the bottom. So that's what we're watching right now in BTC. So look, BTC gets up here more, honestly the probabilities favor that it's going to reject, and I think a nice short here to target this low back at 60K would be a pretty sick fucking short. What does that end up being? If I can catch a nice trade up here down to like 60, 25% move, I can just chill on that, for a little bit. So that's the trade I'm watching for. And if you look, you want to break it down even more, what are we doing? We're doing the same thing we did the last time we got here. Look, it's not rocket science. It's simple. You flagged out until you broke the trend, you back tested, you ran down. What are you doing right now? Same pattern, same thing, same play. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, trading doesn't have to be complicated. Just look for key levels, wait for it to get there. And if you see what you like, you see what's supposed to be there. In this case, we probably had some bearish divergence. We did right here. I can show you on the daily. So look, this is how you would identify this was resistance. So as we pushed into this trend, right? What was momentum doing on the daily? It was swinging down. Look at the direction. That's a bearish divergence. When you see that on like a higher time frame, like the daily or the weekly, don't fade that. That's telling you something. You're near resistance, and people are starting to flip the opposite direction. Momentum shifting, and that would have been at the high. That would have been how you keyed the high. You could have got in on a lower time frame and got in on a 4-hour structure shift right here. 4-hour market structure shift right there. That would have been your cue to get it on a back test. So there's ways you can look for these things. You just got to wait for price to get to those levels. And then you look for your clues for entry. My swing trading is done usually on the daily. 4 hours more for like entry. I want to see what the market structure looks like. If we've gotten a market structure headed in the downside, because ideally, if you're getting on a swing trade, you want to catch it while the momentum's starting to go, but like early enough where like on the 4 hour you can see momentum has shifted in the direction you want, but on the daily maybe it hasn't shown it yet. So it just kind of lets you get in a little bit earlier. I would say if I'm looking for like a day trade, it's usually the hourly. Ed, are you front running the Business Insider analysis on Lululemon? She just repeated your analysis of Lulu need to hold. Bro, I'm telling I'm better than these people. What are you talking about? I'm just kidding, man. Look, we're all looking at the same charts at the end of the day. I mean, if you've been in the market long enough, it's more about who spots it first, you know? If you can identify the pattern before everybody else identifies it, and that comes with a lot of repetition at the charts and that identifying these patterns, then you're going to see the move before other people. You know, it is what it is. Plus, I'm probably a bigger nerd, you know? I don't trust analysts that write blogs and journals. I don't got time to do that shit as a trader. I just want to take my trades. Somebody asked for silver. I got you. We can go look at some silver. So that's what I'm looking at on gold. That was the BTC trade. Somebody asked what trades I was looking at. So I'm looking for an S&P trade, SPY trade, and I'm looking for a gold trade. Not a gold trade, Bitcoin. So look, remember that little bear flag I was just talking about on whatchamacallit, on gold? Well, silver's kind of already done that, and it's starting to fade already. So silver's at a pivotal place too, because look, this is a low or a high, low, lower high, and we're sitting at daily support. If we lose this daily level, that confirms the market structure shift right there for me. That's what I need to see. So if you start losing this $79 level, man, $78, I think it's coming back down to 64 at minimum, potentially lower. If this is a bear flag, this thing's probably going to run down back in the 50s. This is where I expect silver to eventually make its way back down to, or damn close to it at some point. So if this breaks, I think that's your next target. So those are your levels to the downside. Look, right now you're in a downtrend. Look, it's confirmed. You got 3 touches on the 4-hour. If you can break this trend and start popping up, taking out some of these highs, the key level being around 92, take out 90, 92, I think then you have a chance of maybe running up a little bit on silver. But right now, it looks a little bearish. And I think if you watch the 79, 78 level, you start seeing that thing lost, I think it's a great opportunity for a short. You know, something like that, bang. You know, it may not drop exactly like that, but over time, you know, you might catch a nice short down there. So, not financial advice, by the way. Also, guys, if you're watching right now and you're not followed and you're not subscribed, hit that follow, hit that subscribe, smash that like. You do the channel a huge favor by pushing us out into the algo, get us out to new viewers. Also, you'll get notifications when we go live 6 days a week. I am a trader at Tactical Edge Trading. My name is Eddie. It's myself, Ben, and Nick. They're actually the founders of the group, but Ben put together a freaking free course. Everything that he does in trading, his entire system is pretty much out there for free. It's at tacticaledgetraders.com. You just need an email to sign up, get access to our online portal, and you can get all of our courses. We have courses on order flow, psychology, basic market structure, how to identify support resistances, trading view. Like, he breaks it down for all this stuff, for all levels. Like, and you can get some value out of it, and it's free. It's only gonna, you know, it costs your time at the end of the day, and you can join the Discord from that directly. So check us out, guys. Join a real group of traders. A lot of us do this every day. We take this serious. Few of us do this for a living. Some of us are aspiring to do it for a living, and they're, you know, treating this like a craft that they're trying to, like, you know, this is like you're trying to become a doctor or something. You're trying to become a, you know, you're going into some type of trade and you're doing these years to perfect and learn the skill before you actually, you know, you go through your apprenticeship. That's essentially what a lot of our traders are doing. They're going through their journey. They're trying to perfect it. A lot of it comes down to emotions, not just TA. So that's the hard part. And that's the part where if you're in a group full of people who've done it before, who can identify and, you know, empathize with you and kind of tell you like what's helped them, it's going to help you succeed. So check us out, Tactical Edge Traders. What platform are you using for crypto trading? I use Buy DeFi, and I also just mostly trade on props right now. I use Brightfunded for crypto. It's just not worth holding too much crypto right now. I don't like having too much money in USDT when the crypto market's dried out. It just makes me a little worried if we get like a depegging or something, which tends to happen. I remember last bear market, I think USDC depegged. So, short for April. Yeah. What's up, Nade? What do I know that I wish I knew when I first started, what I know now? Dude. Here's what killed me early in my trading career. Having thinking I had to be part of every move. That killed me. Like trying to, like, look, I can nail trades. My problem was I was trading too high frequency in the beginning. So I'd catch a win and I'd be up for the day, and then I'd go chasing like 2-3 more trades. and not just walking away at the one. I'm starting to learn what I've learned in the like last couple years, that like less is better, and you don't have to catch every move. You just have to catch the move. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. And like that's like the one thing that I think that really escalated my like trading. Because before that, I would make money, but then I'd give a shit ton back just doing stupid shit. And like, it's just trying to catch every little move instead of waiting for a high quality play of the day and then just trying to like load up on that one trade that I had the most confidence in. That was during the highest like liquidity times, and it was just my A+ setup. When I started doing that, I realized, I'm like, oh shit, I can make a lot of money in one trade and not have to go through the stress of like giving it all back doing stupid shit. So that was the one thing I wish I could have taught like my earlier self. But hey, man, I didn't learn that until I actually met traders who were better than me, like who were making money consistently and weren't giving it all back. And then I figured out what they were doing that I wasn't doing. I was like, they're taking like one trade a day, if that. So that was the big thing for me. Nerd Ed, my man, what's up? You do options? I'm going to look at XRP, Solana, and Ethereum. I got you. I don't trade options. I do want to get into it. There's a few guys in our Discord. Brian, both Brians. We have two Brians with an I, Brian with a Y. They're both big into to options. They talk your ear off about it if you know what you're talking about. For me, it's something I do want to kind of delve into a little bit. But I need to really like sit down and educate myself. There's a lot that goes on with it. There's like, you know, decay on the different options, expiries, and you can fucking hedge yourself, and there's a bunch of cover yourself. Like there's so many different ways. Things like I don't understand. Like I understand charts. I understand how futures work. I understand how leverage works. So I've gotten that down. So I just kind of stick into that, my lane for now, until I like really like educate myself a little bit more. But there are some guys in the Discord. If you want to pop in, tacticalhedgetraders.com, join the Discord. Talk to some of the guys who do this like every day, who trade it regularly, and they make money doing it too. How bad do you think the market drops after Powell speaks? I don't know, dude. That's gonna be funny. I think by next week we're lower than we are today. That's my prediction. Don't trade on that though. That's just what I'm thinking. You trading too high frequency too, Derek? Dude, I'm telling you, man. You know, it's funny because like I got it down to like three trades a day, right? And then I still realize when I trade next to Ben, who Ben's a better trader than me. He's a better trader than most of us in the Discord. Actually, probably all of us, because he's made a lot of money doing it. He's also been doing it for over 10 years. And I watched him take like a 6-figure trade and on a scalp in the morning, like 6-figure profit in like 15, like it was like a 2-hour trade. I think he was in it. So he's at a different level right now than a lot of us. But the one thing I realized, like he doesn't force plays. He just waits for that one perfect one. And if one thing doesn't line up, he doesn't take the trade. He'll let it pass. And like I was like, that level of discipline is like being around that kind of pushes you to the next level. You've been looking for like-minded people, dude. I'm telling you, man, you're not going to meet better, like more disciplined and consistent people than like the guys in the group. Like the ones that want it are there and they put the work in. And we talk shop, and we're always talking. We have like group meets. Tomorrow we're going to have a meet and we're picking what we want to talk about. It's like an open topic. We decide every week what we're going to dive deeper into to make us better, to make us a little bit more educated. I think last week we talked about Jane Street the one week, just talking about how they influence the markets. We talked about what I just talked about a little bit ago with the VIX, how they all correlate together. The VIX, the DXY, gold, US stocks, the bonds, like how they all piece together to kind of give you direction of where the money's going and how people are, perceiving risk. We dove into that kind of stuff. So we do that stuff like regularly. So if you're interested in that, man, it's definitely the place. Check us out. Gold crosses 5,009. Yeah. Silver prediction down. I'd say in the next couple months, silver's coming down. It looks a lot weaker than gold. Could gold hold? I think gold might be able to maybe hold up a little stronger, but I think silver, eventually we see it sub 70, maybe closer to 50. And I think gold might be going down to 4,400 again, dude. Let me go check out ETH real quick. Someone asked for ETH. ETH, SOL, and XRP. So look, I gave this trade, by the way, in the Discord. It wasn't like a signal, but I said, hey, if we pop this level at 5150 or 2150, we're coming up to about 2,400. And we got pretty much right there. We got like $15 shy of it. So what do I think now? We're at resistance. Can we bust through here? Potentially. It really just depends on what we're doing right now. We're kind of like consolidating by resistance. This could mean one of two things. We're just chipping away at that liquidity to bust through, or we're distributing. So we won't know. But when I see price action like this in the FOMC, I sit on the sidelines. I do nothing. I also don't take longs at resistance. What I would like to see, if you were even thinking about taking a long, I would look for a pullback first and then try to long. Maybe off this level at 2150, catch a little bounce. If we pulled back and didn't absolutely like nuke below it. If we're looking for a short, I look for, we left, this 2400 is still untapped and this 2450 is untapped. I'd look for a push up, a sweep maybe of the current high, maybe a little bit higher, and then look for that rejection. Look for the absorption, look for the fail breakout, the trap traders, and then you'll probably get a nice little short out of this thing. So, but right now you're at resistance. Your key resistance is right here around 2350 to about 2400. Maybe you can go up as far as 2450 if you really want to stretch it out a little bit. But yeah, that's what I'm watching on ETH. I don't think too much right now of what's happening. Sol's pretty much the same thing, guys. Sol had broken out of this ascending triangle. Technically, it could get us back up to 105, maybe in a bullish scenario up to 116. But right now, as we stand, it looks a little bit more bearish in the short term than bullish. Why do I say that? Well, we've lost momentum, and we're starting to make a head and shoulders. I mean, it's simple. Like, look at that. That's a head and shoulder pattern. This is your neckline on Solana. Lose this trend or this neckline, and you're probably coming back down, at minimum, back down to 92, maybe back down to the trend. I think the measured move takes you just about there. Let me see if it broke down just about to this trend line, around 90 bucks, 89.90. So if we did pull back and lose this trend, I would expect this low. Otherwise, if it could continue to hold and invalidate it, then maybe it'll attack this high at 98. If it breaks 98, then I think you got a good shot at that 105. So you're looking for this to hold above, essentially above this $90 support. It was once resistance. It should now be support. If you can hold that, then you have a shot above. If you start to break back into this pattern by any chance, like let's say you get back down into here, right, and you start to break back in, it's not looking good for Solana. Probably back down at least to the lows of the range, down here around $75, $76, maybe lower. So that's the plays there. Is ETH going to bull run this year? No. I don't think any crypto is going to bull run this year. Remember, man, it's 3 years up, 1 year down. It's literally just been the playbook for crypto and the business cycle. That is that perfect example of a bull flag. Yeah, could be. What's your Discord? Our Discord, go to tacticaledgetraders.com. Tacticaledgetraders.com. And you can actually join the Discord right from there. It's a giant join Discord button. It'll portal you directly to our Discord. You just got to verify you're not a bot, and you'll get access to the Discord. Anything for Bitcoin? What's Nave? Consolidation eats you up if you don't know. Yeah, Julian's right. Consolidation will screw you up. Price prediction on silver. Yeah, I wish. Let me go look at XRP. Someone asked for that. It's probably not going to be a great analysis on XRP either. All right, look, XRP is sitting above key support. Let me get rid of my LARP lines. Start this fresh. Look, 189, 190. That was your previous range. You broke down from it. You've taken the liquidity down here. You've taken this wick. We're getting a bounce. Where is the last place that we broke down from? It's that 189. So if we got back up here, that's resistance. If we do continue to rally in the short term, or not the short term, but the more immediate, right? What are we holding above? Well, we broke out of this range, right? There's this ranging. We broke out. We're attempting to hold above this 150 level. If we can hold above 150 and we don't just bomb down here and take out all this liquidity, there's a chance that, yeah, we are going to push up into this 167 first, which is that wick. I think that's an easy target if we can hold. And then I think maybe 189 if things get a little bit more bullish. Now that corresponds with BTC making a run for like 89, like not 89, 79, 80K. So that top of that trend. So if I saw BTC up at that's 80K and I saw XRP pushing towards 189, I'd probably take my profits and run. That's just me. Now, it doesn't have to get up there, man. If it loses this right here, same thing, dude. If it starts to fade this, it's probably back down to these lows. At least that 130 and potentially lower. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to get too bearish here. Yep. Listen to Ben. He said, smash that follow, tap that heart, hit that like, subscribe, guys. You help out the channel, and you also get notified when we go live 6 days a week, myself, as well as Ben. And you can also check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. Free courses. We teach you how to trade for free. And you can join the Discord and be part of a real community. I have to go double check and make sure that TikTok, it's saying I'm not live. I don't know why it did that. Give me one of those captchas to do. All right, it's gone. Anyways, TRB. What's TRB? Is that a crypto or is that a... Is that a crypto or is that a stock, bro? You want tribal? Tribal groups, PLC? That's where my stop loss is. You said that's where your stop loss is, Ghost. You know that old saying they say, put your entry where you would have put your stop? I swear to God, that shit is so true. Man, when I started doing, like, I started thinking like that, just take that mindset shift, right? Where you would have put your entry, where you would have put your stop, put your entry. The idea is wait for other people to get stopped out and then catch the wave. Like, that's what smart money does. That's what Ben does. That's literally all he does. He's not smart. He just has money. That's me talking shit. Am I looking at the right thing, bro? Mahmoud, you said TRB. I don't want to start TAing some shit and then you tell me it's the crypto. But look, man, I'm just going to start TAing this thing. Look, it's in a range. This is your range. That's your range high. That's your range low. We're deviated a little bit away from the trend, the downtrend on this TRB, right, from the weekly. So it might just continue to chop into this trend. The trend just extended out a little bit, and maybe it just continues to chop until we hit this trend, and then it makes a decision. That wouldn't be weird. It's just ranging for now. So watch 35 to the low and 74 to the high. And what I would do is, if you're up here, if expect this is resistance till it's not, you'd be looking for shorts up here, longs down here. On the local level, if you lose where we're at right now, you're probably coming down. You're at support. You're at the last line of support I see on like the lower time frames. So this is the mini range, right? So if you lose this, you're coming back down to this half down here. So stay above 57 if you want to remain like bullish in the short term. Maybe you'll come back up to retest 74. Otherwise, it's probably coming back down to that 35 level. I appreciate that, Kay. It's good seeing you. XRP headed for 88 cents. Dude, XRP's headed for fucking 50 cents. What are you talking about? Watch it be 50 cents and people still buy that shit. Yeah, I've done SPY already. We kind of went over it. SPY's simple, dude. 6720 is resistance. We're right there, right? We're up against trend resistance. Get rid of some of these things here. Right, we're up against trend resistance. The play is simple here. If we can reclaim 67.2 definitively and hold as support, maybe we make our way back up to the highs, right? We get acceptance back into this range, maybe we have a shot. Otherwise, we're probably coming down to 6,500 if we can't reclaim. So it's either this or maybe this, right? And maybe we don't go all the way up to the highs. Maybe we just put in the lower high and roll over, but this is the only chance to get bullish shares. It gets back above, reclaims. So that's SPY in a nutshell. TRB USD. I knew it was fucking crypto, bro. I should have known it was you. I'm like, he's not asking me for fucking some random ass shit. He's asking me for some fucking. This thing is fucking trash, dude. You know this is like, this thing was highly manipulated. Like a majority of the stock of this coin was held by like one person, one wallet. This pump was manufactured by him. I remember when I was in crypto, like trading this shit, and I stopped trading it because of that pump. When I see coins do that, I get out. Look, man, it's in a downtrend. It's coming up against resistance right now. You're at this like $20 level. All right, you're up against resistance. You got that larger time frame trend. So what you need to see here is you need to see this thing start to reclaim this $20 level to get bullish, even in the short term. Otherwise, the trend is just down, man. It's just doing this, and it's going to continue to do this until it doesn't. And you have to break this high up here around 2021 in order for things to flip bullish. So otherwise, I'm just looking. Maybe you get back up into that $20 level, but I would watch to see what happens up there. I'd be very, very defensive. What's up, Beth? How about SPX? I think we just looked at SPX. The SPY? Yeah, we looked at SPY already. I just did it a minute ago, I think, Beth. I don't want to lose $200 I put into XRP. I have a stomach to feed. It's gone, man. It's already gone. You don't even know it. I can go look at Hood. You don't even know it yet. Don't hold on to hopium. Sell that shit. No, I'm kidding. Do what you want to do with it, bro. Maybe XRP will be the currency of the future or whatever people are predicting. I don't know what they say these days. All right, so Robinhood. Look, got a couple levels to watch here. Lost trend, right? We flipped structure on the weekly. Back down here when we lost this. So that was our weekly structure shift. So that's going to be a big level to watch for a back test. And we're trending down. Do we pop here? Why would we pop here? Well, we're pretty close to support. We're not exactly there. We're front running it a little bit. And I'm pretty sure if we pop the fib out, it's probably bouncing somewhere around a 618. Just around it, yeah. So we're in like like an area for a little bit of a bounce, but it hasn't proven itself yet. I would have really liked for it to come down here, but oftentimes you do see them front run levels. So let's go to our daily, see if we got any structure shifts. Right now, we don't. What we need to see here, right? We have our low right down here, sitting around that $68, $69 level. We have a swing high at 84, and we're kind of forming a little bit of a higher low right here, a little bit of a flag, right? If we pop this and break that 84 level, that's a daily shift. That makes it a little bit more probable. I would say more leaning to the upside that we're probably going to come back up and potentially retest this 102, 103 area. But I would need to see that structure shift first. We can see on the 4 hour, right? It does look like a little bit of a bull flag, right? And maybe it's already popped, right? And I got a lot of lines here, guys. Follow along. I'm sorry. I would never be a good teacher, like writing on a chalkboard or like one of those fucking one of those marker boards or whatever they call them, the dry eraser boards. Yeah, I would never do good because I would be just drawing random shit. They'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Kick me out of the classroom for giving kids OCD. So look, pop this, break this high. We got that daily shift. 4 hour, we haven't shifted structure yet, so I'm still waiting. But like, it looks like it's trying to form a little bit of a low here. So just let this one develop a little bit. Then you might have a move from 84 back up to like 105, 104. Otherwise, you're coming down to retest this to actually take out the 65 level. That's what I would say is the other option there. ONDS, I'll go look at some ONDS. I probably should. ONDS. Look, it's almost there. It's almost there, dude. Like we've talked about this trend, right? From July of last year, it's been running up. What's happening here? Well, we're hitting against resistance. The resistance around 1140. And I said, if we can break this, there's a very good chance that this ascending triangle, which it's starting to form an ascending triangle, take everything else out, right? Screw the trend. Just look at it for what it is. This is resistance. What is price action doing on the downside? It's smacking up against this, creating a flat wall, right? But price is getting higher lows. Low, higher low, higher low. It's showing that it's building momentum, building strength to pressing into. That's what the charts are telling me right now. If this breaks this level, where's it taking us? Well, you just take the width of the ascending triangle. 67% chance of breaking to the upside, historically proven. These patterns could take us back up into that $14 level, potentially back into the highs. So I'd be watching for this 1140 level to break, man. If this thing cracks, can hold support, you got a good shot. Now, if it starts to fade, breaks out, and doesn't and falls back in, then that's a failed breakout. The chances of it breaking the downside become a little bit higher. Failed breakouts usually lead to bigger moves, stronger moves. So if it fades and starts to lose that lower trend, then guess what? It's probably coming down to this level or this level here. These are the two levels I'll be watching, like $8.50 down to like $7.50. So that's the upside and the downside. But I think it's a little bit more poised to the upside for now. Just looking at it on the charts based off market structure. PR, Permian. Do you have a favorite? Favorite what? Gen 74, Gen X 74. What are you asking? What favorite what? I have lots of favorite things. I just don't know what you want to know. So whoever asked for PR, Permian Resource Corporation. I mean, look, dude, this thing's up. Right? Let me get off my tool. Do I have a favorite trade? If it's an asset, yeah, I like to trade Bitcoin and gold. Are my two favorite. SPY is a third for me. But if it's like an actual trading style, yeah, I like breakout retests as an entry. I'm not big on like breakouts. I will very rarely take a breakout trade, almost never, unless it's a higher time frame breakout. I do sometimes take SFPs, which are sweeps, but I really do like the breakout bounces, reversal like on reversals, like trend break, reversal, give me that market structure shift, and I'll take that trade all day. A little bit of divergence in there, sprinkle that on just for some good luck. So look, here's your level to the upside that you're targeting. Right, it's just the previous high. What have you been doing? You've been trending up, flagging out, and now you're breaking. So I'd imagine this is just the next target. Could it go higher? Yeah. I mean, the measured move would take us even higher than that, but I'd say I'd be watching 23 to the upside. To the downside, you probably have a little bit of support at that previous breakout of that previous high you had here. So maybe you get a little support around 1833. Otherwise, you could get even, if let's say you do get a bigger pullback, you could pull back into this level here too, around $15, and still remain bullish, right? So those would be the levels to stay bullish. Otherwise, it starts breaking this low around $12. It's no bueno. But that's what I'm seeing on. I would say this is poised to the upside, man. I think when he gets up to 23, maybe that's a good place to reassess, see how it reacts up there. I'd imagine the first pass, since this is like a multi-year resistance, I would say its first attempt, it's probably going to get rejected. That's just my thinking on it. Yeah. No, I like gold, Bitcoin, and SPY. Those are my three like trade things. Like if I'm day trading, that's what I'm usually trading, like the hourly. I don't drop down on the hourly on many other assets. Very rarely do I. Swing trading, I'll trade whatever, but knew it was going to go up. Yeah. I believe you. Someone wants to look at CVS. What's happening with CVS? By the way, guys, there's like a bunch of people watching. I appreciate you all being here, but if you're not following, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. You'll get notifications when we go live. You'll be able to get your tickers in there before everybody else. Also hear about, what we're talking about in the market. We talk about recent events, market updates. We're not just looking at charts. We cover what's going on in the macro and what's happening in the world that could affect us as traders. Also, give us a check out our Discord at tacticaledgetraders.com. Join the web page. It's free. You can get access to our free courses. We'll teach you how to trade. We don't gatekeep that. There's no paid courses here. We will give that to you for free, and you can join the Discord and see what we're about. Join a real community of traders. Now that I got that out the way, let me give you CVS. So look, that's our big high right there. We just swept a major low, so this was the range, right? Right about there. That's your range. You can see if you drag it back, that's where it's been ranging, right? So this is the range high around 113. You're up against weekly resistance at 83, but you also have a trend. So let's see. Is it still intact? It is. Barely, but it's intact. So go down to your daily. What am I seeing? Well, We're pressing up against resistance. If we break 83, there's a very good chance you're making your way back up to like that 110, 113 area. If you can break this, right? May not do it right away, but it eventually makes its way up into this area and maybe grab some of this liquidity left behind. See how it's like straight down? They never swept before they dumped. This is just asking for, you know, to be grabbed. This right there. Normally you'll see a sweep before they come down. They'll take out the liquidity. That's how you know they're probably not coming back for a while. But if they left this behind, it makes me think they're probably going to come back at some point. So look, if we can hold this trend and break this level, then I expect eventually price makes its way up here. Maybe it doesn't get all the way up there, but I think it's going to at least take something. Maybe that 104, 105 area. If we start to lose trend, then I think we're just coming back down to this trend, the bottom of the pattern, right back down here. Let me go back to my weekly. Just look at it simple. You know, as long as it's trending up, it will make its way to the top. If it starts to lose trend, it's coming down. Look what it did before. When it lost trend, it came back down. And you can do this back and forth. Look. See what I mean? When the trend breaks, it starts to reverse. So, like, that's simple trend trading for you, especially when you're in a range like this. So right now you're up against, you know, support. You're up against resistance, and you're trying to hold this trend. So that's your big level. It's not going up, bro. It might not. I don't know. Am I in a swing trade right now? No, I'm not in a swing trade. I'm in a short right now. That's about it on Bitcoin, but it's a scalp. I'll probably close out if it gets back above 74,000. Right here is where I'm at. So this is the trade I'm in. I entered on this break of the trend. When it took that high right there, put that double top in. I put my stop above. My stop's actually here now. Let me take that back. My stop is at break even, so I can't lose this trade even if it went back up to my entry. But I don't know. I might take some profits soon and just get out. But I think it might come down and take this low eventually. But right now we're getting a bounce. So it's been chop city. But I'll close this out before I even get off the computer. I'm not going to walk away with this. What's the difference between swing trading, futures, and options? There is no difference, dude. I mean, a swing trade is just the time that you're in a trade. If you hold a trade past one trading session, it becomes a swing trade. Like if you walk away and close up the computer for the day and you come back tomorrow, it becomes a swing trade typically. You can do short-term options, and you can do swing length options. But I think options typically I see are done more on like the higher time frames from what I can tell. Like, you know, like not 15 minutes out from now, like a futures trade, you can open up and get out in 5 minutes. I don't know if it's that easy on options, but yeah, man. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that Renaissance. Back under $1. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about, RN, but you might be right. I don't know. I don't know where price is going. I just mark out levels and wait for price to do stuff at them. That's like I poke it with a stick and hope that it does something eventually. What leverage you take on BTC? I think it's 5x. I took a... I'll tell you how big the position is. So 0.3 Bitcoin. So what's that? That's like a $20,000 to $25,000 position. It's not that big of a position, dude. I've taken bigger positions than that before, but I've also taken smaller positions. But it's not about the leverage, man. It's about the position size. You get what I'm saying? Like when I'm trading, I'm not worried what my leverage is. I'm worried about whether my position size is good. Like, because if it's too big of a position size, then you're not going to be able to withstand the drawdowns, because then it'll hit your 1% or whatever your max drawdown is. If you don't have a max drawdown, you're not trading with good risk management. I'll tell you that straight up. Do you see gold and silver ratio ever reaching 40 again in the next 5 years? I don't know, dude. I don't really look at that stuff. I'm not going to sit there and pretend to know, if I'm being honest. That's like, when you start comparing like charts to each other, that's when you start to get like on the next level of like fucking of like chart analysis. I don't do that with everything. I used to do that with crypto, and it fucking drove me nuts. Like watching USDT dominance, BTC dominance, and like the altcoin BTC pairings and doing all that shit. That shit just fucking made it too complicated. I'm like, I'm going back to doing simple shit. New here, want to throw you a ticker to see how your analysis is. What's the ticker? Big Cat. Do you day trade or swing trade? I do both. Maybe you can see chat. Seems he's reading in Discord. Can't see my chat. No, I'm reading, man. YouTube's a little bit, if you're on YouTube, just know this. If you're watching, it's a little delayed. So like I'll say something and then you won't hear, like you'll put something in the chat. I don't see it right away. And even if I do respond to it right away, you're not going to hear it for like 5 or 10 seconds sometimes, depending on the lag. TikTok's a little quicker. You can kind of get responses out there really quickly. What's your monthly salary in trading? I don't know, man. I don't want to put a number on it. My average P&L last year was a little over 10% a month. So like I grew my account about 10% each month, or made 10% profit. I didn't grow it because I took some money out. You could just do the math on it. If it was trading with $100,000, 10% would be what? 10K. If I was trading with $1 million, it'd be 100K. It's all relative. At the end of the day, you should think less about money as a trader. Think more in terms of percentage and R's. When you can shift that, you'll look at money different. You'll think about it like growth and like, relative. D-nut. What the fuck is D-nut? Krispy Kremes. That's funny. Oh shit, dude. All right. Well, in the long scheme of things, dude, it's pretty fucking bottomed out, brother. This thing has had a long fucking journey down. I guess people don't like donuts anymore. I don't know what happened. Maybe, you know what this happened? This probably happened when all that weight loss drugs, those GLP-1s came out. People stopped eating Krispy Kremes and fucking start injecting their stomach with fucking with enzymes and shit. So look, man, there's your weekly support. All right. This is what I'm a little more worried about on Krispy Kremes. You hit that support, right? But then you started trending up here, and look what you're doing. So on the weekly uptrend, you broke down. You lost a little bit of a low right there, so a little bit of a break, a structure, and you're failing to get back above this trend here. So it looks like it's trying to form a little bit of a bottom here, but it's still struggling. Another way to look at it is this. Look, until you get back above this level right here, you're gonna either be down or sideways. So you got to get back above 450. What happens if you get back above 450? You see how this candlestick moved really quickly there? That is what we call a low volume gap, right? I can show you with a tool what that means. So VRVP, this shows volume on the charts. Do you see how volume's sticking out right here on the side? That means there's volume in this area. That means people trade in this area. There's exchange of hands. When volume dips down like that and you can barely see it, that means it's a place where not many exchanges happen and price action moves quickly. That is a low volume gap, single print, whatever you want to call it. But if you do break that level, it takes you up to here. Look, that's where you broke down from originally, right? You broke down. You left behind this big gap right here. Not gap, single print. So if it breaks above this, that would probably be the target somewhere up here around $9. But you got to get back above 450. For now, it's just trending, man. It's just ranging right here. So this is support down here at 250. Your resistance is at 450. Get back above, and I think you got a shot. You start losing that, and it's just going to continue to do what it's been doing, just going down, looking for a bottom. You got no major market structure shifts. The weekly hasn't shifted yet. If the weekly was going to shift, you would have to break this 450 level because look what we did. Low, putting a swing high, higher low potentially forming. If it breaks that, that becomes a market structure shift. That would probably get us a little pump up, maybe for a little bit. And like you could see on the daily, right? Back down here, mind all my LARP lines. Let me just move all this shit. So look, we had a gap. Whatever happened, we bottomed out, and then it opened up higher, right? It gapped up, and it's consolidating. It hasn't given it all back yet. So look, could this be a bull flag? Maybe. Maybe if it takes out this high right here at 377, it's probably got a good shot back up to this 450. So there's your analysis. And yeah, it almost filled it. Sometimes they don't fill these 100%. You get left waiting for the gap to fill. Some people put like limit orders down here, thinking that this gap will get filled. And you can see they filled almost all of it. Sometimes they will leave a little bit behind. So, you know, it doesn't have to get filled. But if it did come back down and fill that gap, it would be nice too. But this is starting to look a little bit, you know, like it's getting ready to pop. Yeah, momentum's starting to shift back up too. How's volume look? I mean, volume got a little pop right there, right, on this gap, and it's continuing to trend up. So as long as it keeps trending up like that, there's a volume divergence, so volume precedes price. You know, volume going up means there's a good chance this could pop. It's got to keep going, though. It can't start fading. So that first test was like a back test of this breakdown of this trend. If it can run up past that level I talked about, 377, I think you got a shot back up there. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Big Cat. I try to cover both sides of I'm not one of those people that's like, they're gonna do this, it has to do that. Like, I used to be like that, and then I realized I used to get smashed in the market, because then if you get so convicted that you can't be wrong, or whatever direction you think is gonna happen, you end up holding a trade into like a drawdown bigger than you're willing to take, because your ego won't let it go. I know, because I was that guy. And I watch new traders do it all the time, and it breaks my heart, because I know exactly how they feel, and it's like hard to let go. And sometimes you don't realize it's like when your friends or your family have to tell you something that you can't see, but like they're telling you, like, oh, like if you're in a bad relationship or something like that, and you don't realize it's a toxic relationship, and you got to have like your friends tell you like, yo, she's bad for you, and you don't want to listen to them. That's how it is when you're in a bad trade and your ego won't let it go. Somebody can tell you need to get the fuck out now, like you're gonna lose like your whole account, and you just won't believe it. You'll just still hold on to hope. So I know the mindset, and it's so vulnerable, because once you come out of that and you've like, let's say you blow your account or you take a big L, you're gonna have some PTSD. You're gonna have some trigger. You know, some people have trouble pulling the trigger again when they're trying to take a trade. You start to second guess every little move against you, because you don't start to trust your analysis. It leads to some bad habits and some bad mindset. So if I can teach you something, that's something I would help. I was that guy who was just breaking the bad cycle of hold. Dude, I used to do that too. I used to add to fucking losers, thinking that was the way to go. Like, I was dumb, dude. I did some stupid shit. I'm the first to admit it. You want to look at open? Yeah, we could go look at open, bro. Ho, look at that. All right, I got some LARP lines, so look, I talked about this. Open is coming back into this previous range. I said if it could hold, this is what we're looking for. I even drew it out. We're looking for that bottom, and we're looking for that pump. What are we starting to see? It did deviate a little bit lower than I thought, but, you know, nothing's perfect in TA, right? The idea is just generally, does it hold that area, right? What are we looking for now? Well, we're looking to see if this trend breaks. So that's our next step on open. This looks solid. I'm going to be honest with you. This looks bullish as shit. I'm going to go look for if there's any divergences here. Okay. We got some daily divergences going into this low right there. See that? That's signaling a daily low, or potential of a low. We got what appears to be like a little bit of a, you know, it could be a cup and handle, a little interior bull flag right here. You see what I'm saying, right? I'm just going to draw with the little brush right there. See that? Whatever that is. It's breaking up. So the real test now is, do we get back above essentially this level, this consolidation right here? Can we get back above this level here? Can we break this trend? If we do, this thing could pop back up to maybe up to $11 if it can hold here. Maybe it goes higher. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, what it looks like looks good. Like, this is normally what you want to see if you're looking for a continuation. Hold the key level, come back, retest that breakout, and then hold, and then continue up. And here's the thing I really like. See this liquidity up here? We never grabbed it. This right here, we front ran it. We took almost everything except for the last bit. And for me, that's telling me that they're leaving something behind. So there's a good shot, man. Break this trend, start to flip market structure on their daily, And you're starting to get it now too. Like you're basically breaking your daily market structure if you can break this 550. So idea is get that daily market structure flipped up, get that trend cracked, and I think you got a good shot back at 11. Otherwise, it's just going to do this. If it can't break this trend, it's going to do that. And it's going to continue down, and it's going to gain acceptance back into this range. And if you gain acceptance back into this range, it's probably coming back down to the lows around 78, 80 cents. That's the bear side of it. So this is a key level for the bulls, and I think they know that. It's not easy right now. Yeah, I got you, bro. Open is going to run again. Yeah, dude, it looks good. It does look good. I'm not going to sit there and fade it. Like, some things look strong right now. Like, I'll show you something. Look, here, I'm going to show you a perfect example. CVX, is it Chevron? Here it is, Chevron. Like, there are things running. And remember how I talked about that breakout retest, right? Look at this on Chevron. This is a very higher time frame play. See how it broke resistance and came back down and tested that resistance as support and created that flag pattern, and then it broke out. That's what you're looking for on open, on a lower time frame. Instead of the monthly, you're looking for the daily version of that. But these patterns play out, so get used to it, and you'll see. Going into the slow, what did we see on the monthly? Bullish divergence. Coming into momentum started to shift up as we were coming into support. I actually gave this trade out in the Discord like months ago. I'm not even joking, months ago. And I said this thing is going to go. And we were down here when I was talking about it. But I saw the divergence and I posted it. And now it's up. I didn't take the trade because honestly, I didn't have the patience for it. But look, it's up 50%. If you would have just bought some shares, you'd be up 50% right now. And like, you know what I mean? It's just simple things like that. You don't need to make it complicated. You look for simple like breakouts of resistance and back tests. Look for that support to hold. Guy is goated. Thanks, man. I don't know if I've been called goated before. At video games, yeah. I used to be really good at Call of Duty back in the day. I've been buying hard silver instead of paper silver, if that helps. Let me ask you a question about buying hard silver. Do you have to pay like a fee for storage if you're buying hard, like silver? How does that work? I've always wondered. I never actually bought I've always bought contracts, not actual shares of it. And is there like a minimum? Or are you actually like buying and holding it at home? That's different too. Like if you're buying in bulk on the open market, like I know you have to pay for storage. Nobody's storing like a large quantity of gold outside of a bank. Ethereum. I did go over Ethereum, JJ, but I'll go over it one more time. So look, you're up against resistance. 2400 is resistance. Let me get rid of this LARP line. See what I mean? So why is it resistance? Because I drew a box that says resistance. That's the simple answer. No, I'm kidding. I'll explain why. See this see right here how we dumped down initially, right? We popped back up and we got rejected. That established resistance. There's stop losses here. There's people's stops above this. So naturally, when we get up here, you know, there's going to be people taking profits and also people loading back up short again, thinking that maybe this is just a lower high, protecting their stops. But look, we popped from this 2150. That's now your support, 2150. If we start to fade here, look, we're flagging out. I wouldn't go fading this until it starts to break down below like 2300. If it starts breaking 23, there's a good chance we're probably coming back down to 22, maybe 2150. As long as it stays up here for now, maybe it pops up a little bit higher, but I don't know, man. I think if we grab this liquidity, maybe up here or even up to 2450, I think you see a bigger pullback because that's really where I was expecting this thing to make its way into. We're just getting into resistance. Doesn't mean we're done yet. You know, this could do one of these and put some divergence in and pop back down bigger. So that's what I'm watching simply on Ethereum, INTZ. What is that? Intrusion Incorporated. By the way, guys, if you're following or watching and not followed or subscribed, hit that follow, hit that subscribe, hit that like, smash that heart, You help out the channel. Also, you'll get notifications. We go live 6 days a week. Also, check out our free courses on tacticaledgetraders.com. We'll teach you how to trade for free. We don't sell our courses. We give them out there for free. And we also have a portal to the Discord on that website that will take you to our Discord. You'll be surrounded by real traders, and you can see what it's about. Like-minded individuals. Some of us do this for a living. Some of us are aspiring to be full-time traders, and they're learning it. They're in their journey. So we have all levels. They're welcome. But we take it serious in there. Like, when we're trading live and stuff like that, it's not for hobbyists. It's there for people who want to actually learn and want to do this. And we have a bunch of people who are committed. So check us out. tacticaledgetraders.com. Appreciate the follow, Muhammad. So look, man, INTZ intrusion. We're at support. We bounced off support. You see that right there. Daily, probably weekly support too. Yep, weekly support. The question is here, do we get that bounce? It looks a little bit like a back test. We had a breakout and we're back testing. I guess what I'd want to see here to continue up is a break. Can we break this trend? We're pretty close to it. You know what I mean? We're almost there. Can we get some market structure up and break this trend? That's what I'm watching for on the weekly. It's getting tight, so I think you're going to have resolution pretty soon. You see what I mean? Like it's respecting this trend. So get back above, we're good. If we start to reject here, you're coming back down to that 74 cents. Potentially back down to here. And so it either breaks below or it does the opposite. Maybe it starts to mark up. But I think it all starts with this trend and this high right here at about 120. 119, 120. Get back above that, and I think you're good for a little bit of a push-up. But it's at support, man. If it goes any lower than this and lose that 74, it's back down to that 38. But I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what volume looks like. It's pretty flat. Momentum's pointed down on the daily. That's not a good sign, but it also is up against resistance too. So, but the money flow's coming up. I mean, look, it has a shot. Money flow's coming up on the weekly. Maybe it's got one more push back down and then maybe a pop. So I'd watch out for that. Just break that trend first. That is INTZ. I have to get back to work. Catch you later. All right, later, Big Cat. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Like-minded, wonderful word. Yeah, dude. You know what, man? Look, I'll give you a little bit of back history on me, right? Started trading in like 2020. Got burnt really hard in the last crypto market, but I've been in stocks for a bit, but never really took the dive. I knew there was a way to look at charts and kind of get a better idea of how to read charts and how to understand why price action moves the way it does, but I was lazy. So it took me getting smashed up a little bit. And then I went through the journey that most people do. They go out there, they seek all the information they can get, and then they find out, how the fuck do I put this all together? And then you start trying things. It's like the trial and error phase. You throw things at the wall and see what sticks. Then I tried groups. I had a system, but it wasn't perfect, so I was trying to get a little bit more, not mentorship, but, I want to be around people who've kind of got it figured out already so I can learn from them. And I tried all the groups, man. I was in crypto banter for a while. I was a moderator. I actually was a mentor for a while. I was teaching people to trade there live. I was doing lives there for a bit. They're a big crypto channel. But they teach trading. They have a trading school and stuff. So I've been part of a bunch of different communities, and I ended up at Tactical Edge Trading. And I met Ben and Nick about a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was about 2 years ago almost I met them. And I've been on staff for about a year and a half with them. And we've been just kind of killing it together. I like what they're about. I like what they promote in the group. It's real traders, man. People who are here, and it's not like we're not making meme. Yeah, we bullshit. We have a general channel. We talk shit and we fuck around and just whatever we want to talk about. That's where we laugh and joke. But when it comes down to trading and actually learning and educating ourselves or going over topics and accountability groups, we take that shit serious. And that's what I want. I want people that are when it comes time to work there, and get down to business, they're there to do the same thing. And that's what I found there. And I didn't find that anywhere else. You're from Abu Dhabi. I appreciate you tuning in, brother. Be safe out there, man. It's rough over in the Middle East. I got family over in Palestine, so I always hear about the stories and shit that happen over there. You live in Canada. My game is Ghost. Southern Ontario, just out of Toronto. We have a couple banks here that sell bullion online for premiums for sure. Usually 10 to 20 key. Wow. That's crazy, dude. I wonder if you can. So they mark it up. That sucks. You don't pay taxes. So okay, that makes sense though. At least it balances out somewhere. LMT. I can go look at some LMT. I appreciate you charting the trend lines, resistance and support. Also support demand area. Yeah, dude. No problem, young tax. I mean, that's trading at the end of the day, man. Hit them supports, resistances, and see what happens when you get there. So Lockheed Martin. Talked about this one before. I'll just give like a fresh analysis on it. So look, you broke the previous high. That's your big weekly level, and you popped it. Question is, can we hold when we come back down here? We're seeing a little bit of a fade here. You see a little bit of a topping pattern, right? Shoulder, maybe a head, maybe a right shoulder getting ready to form. So the key is, can we hold above this 618 level? If we start to lose it, I mean, this thing could come down pretty quickly. And I think the next level to come down to is probably back down here. So we don't really want to lose this support. You lose the support, you open the floodgates back down to the low 500s. You might get some pit stops down here. You got some liquidity here, but price didn't really stop too much there. It stopped briefly, but not a lot. You see what I mean? Like in these areas, like it chops around, but it continues whatever direction it's going. So that's the key, man. Stay above this, and you're still bullish, right? At least in the short term. You start to fade this, then, you know, you're looking for a bigger pullback. So those are the levels, really. And to the upside, you know, the high is at 693. So if you want to continue the uptrend, you got to break that level. I mean, you can see right now the trend's down. So that'd be a start. Hold support, 616, 618. Break trend, flip some structure on the 4 hour, and then maybe you got a shot back up there. All right, PFE. Yeah, we take small wins. Oh, dude, I hear that, brother. I hear that. Small, you know what? You never go broke taking profits. Small wins accumulate, you know what I mean? And everything. Not in just in life, but in trading too, you know? If you're always swinging for the fences. What is this pair? The guy's already here. God bless, brother. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I hear you, man. Just be safe out there, dude. I can see I've never seen this before. Oh, I was just looking at LMT. That was Lockheed Martin. Now I'm looking at Pfizer. Ooh, Pfizer looks like it's getting ready for a breakout. Look, Pfizer's up against key resistance. I'm going to draw a line straight over, right? I'm going to show you why this is important. So look where you're at. Support. Back in 2014, a bunch of times. Came back down in 2020. And we just recently lost this level, right? And now we're back up against it. So the key here is, can we get back above this? If we do, we're going to probably pop back up above 30 bucks. Like, you know, you open up the gates. If you can get back above this level here at 27, 28, you know, this is where you're targeting up here. That's your first target. If you get above that, then it's probably going to go higher. But if you go down to the daily, what am I seeing? Well, we're flagging out. We're bull flagging under resistance. That's usually a strong sign. So they're just chopping away at the liquidity. You got a nice trend line below us, right? So hold trend. It can continue to chop as long as it holds trend. I'm bullish. But I wouldn't go taking, you know, longs on resistance. You either look for sweeps of the low to go long, or you wait for a breakout retest. And then you target up into that $30 region. So, but for now, you know, it probably does this until it either breaks down or breaks up. So that's what I'd be watching, that 27.73 level. Call it 28 maybe. And to the downside, I'd be watching that $26 level. Don't want to really lose that. If you lose that, you're going to probably lose the trend at that point, and then you're starting to, you know, open up a full grab of all this liquidity that's been stacking up here. See all that? That becomes the target. So, yeah, that's Pfizer, guys. I could check out some Netflix. Halliburton. Yeah, I can check that out too. Do you usually trade in the morning or throughout the day? I used to trade New York religiously in the morning, but I haven't been able to. I just got other things in life going on right now. I got some side businesses I'm running that are requiring, unfortunately, more of my attention than they should be right now. But yeah, I mean, typically the guys like Ben and a bunch of the group, there's usually like 15, 20 people in our New York sessions that trade live every morning, Monday through Friday. I trade Asia more often than not, though. But I trade Asia either I'm live and I'm taking trades, like right now, like I'm live trading. I wasn't a trade, I actually closed out. Or what I'll do is I'll just trade by myself and post setups in the Discord, like things I'm looking at, like levels I'm watching and trades I'm watching. So, but like Asia's usually I'm more swing trading now, but like not really swing trading, like taking a trade at Asia and maybe holding it overnight and closing it out in the morning. Playing the range, playing the little breakouts, catching them when I can. I'll probably be back to New York more religiously, hopefully in the coming weeks. But right now it's Asia. You can't make one session, make trading work for you. If you work a 9 to 5, learn how to trade on the higher time frames or learn how to trade Asia if it works for you in your time zone. So, how do you see the Asia market moving? Look, if you're going to watch Asia market, I'm going to just have to use Bitcoin because you can't really use SPY or NASDAQ because they're not really heavily traded. If you're not watching the Nikkei or watching like one of Hong Kong's major indexes, then you're kind of flying blind. So I usually use Bitcoin. And what I will look for on Bitcoin is this. And I do this on gold too. Gold trades the same way. So I'm going to let me go to a fresh chart. I don't want to rule up my TA on my old chart. So look, you look for that VWAP, that 15 session VWAP, right? Asia will dictate the trend, right? They'll pick the direction they want to go. So you wait for the definitive break, which right now we're kind of getting that break, right? But you don't just buy the break. You always wait for Asia to come and backtest. If they're going to confirm this move, they're going to come back, retest VWAP, and then they're going to continue the trend up. That's how you trade Asia. You wait for the trend to get established off VWAP, and you play VWAP. Or you can play mean reversions back into VWAP, where you like short back into the VWAP when you can break above it, or if you break below it, you long back into it. So you're basically playing the smaller moves, but you're playing the trend or counter trend trading. You're not really playing reversals or sweeps like you do in New York. If that makes sense, Parker. Nothing moves for you. Nothing's moving because all the markets are closed. You gotta trade things that open during Asia. So like your commodities, gold, silver, oil, they're trading right now. Bitcoin's trading, crypto's trading, your Nikkei, which is the JPY 255. This one right here. This is like their NASDAQ, right? This is what you'd be watching if you were trading Asia session. You know what I mean? So, looks like it wants a pop. Now that I'm looking at it. Inverse head and shoulders right here. See that? It's breaking the neckline. If that breaks, measured move. I'm being really lazy with my lines right now. But measured move would take you about up to here. Back up to the high around 59,000. So that's what's happening right now in the Nikkei. So check out the Asia markets, man. Expand your horizons a little bit. What do you think of WLFI? I can check it out. I'll tell you what I think. Let me look at Netflix first, then I'll go look at that, all right? Somebody asked for Netflix earlier. Oof. Netflix isn't a bear flag, and it's just confirmed for me. I drew this out earlier in the week. I said, look, bigger picture on Netflix. I said, I literally called this move down here. I said, when you break this trend, expect to pop back up to this resistance here at 96. And we got there. And what did we do? We swept liquidity, we deviated above, and now we're getting acceptance back below. This is resistance now. When you lose that level and you try to backtest it, that's confirmation that this thing is coming down. You also have a trend that's been running down, and what do? We rejected on the trend, and we had a bear flag, right? This is our bear flag, and we broke down. We're breaking down from the bear flag right now.